Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another exploration into the unexplained. Today, we're looking into a truly chilling mystery, one that's really baffled investigators for decades. We're talking about the perplexing case of Ricky McCormick and the enigmatic notes found with his body. It's a puzzle that remains unsolved, and we invite you to try and piece it together with us.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how just finding a body leads to one of the biggest unsolved ciphers ever, really, in modern history. Ricky McCormick's life, his death, it's a grim picture, absolutely. But those cryptic messages, that's what makes it a profound mystery.
Okay. Let's start with Ricky McCormick himself. Who was this man? He was born June 14th, 1958. People who knew him said he had a knack for tall tales, showed unusual behavior. His own mother described him as not altogether there. And crucially, reports say he wasn't entirely literate, suffered from dyslexia. And these details, they become incredibly important later when we look at the notes. He was a high school dropout, moved around a lot, Missouri, Illinois, did various manual labor jobs. His life also had, darker parts. In 1992, arrested for statutory rape, fathered 2 children with a 14-year-old girl. He pleaded guilty, served 13 months. He ended up fathering 4 children in total.
And if you look at that, his background, especially the illiteracy part, the legal trouble, it sets a certain context.
Yeah.
But it doesn't automatically explain the complexity around his death.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It does show, though, a life lived sort of on the fringes, which might factor into the dangers he could have encountered,
Right. And just before he died in 99, he'd taken at least 2 bus trips down to Orlando, Florida. Allegedly, he came back with baseball-sized Ziploc bags of marijuana, supposedly for the brother of a gas station owner where Ricky worked. And in that last week, he had severe chest pains, shortness of breath, bad enough he went to the ER, which maybe isn't that surprising considering he admitted smoking a pack a day since he was 10 and drinking over 20 caffeinated drinks daily.
Wow, yeah. That paints a picture of a body under serious stress, but maybe also a mind constantly on edge, or maybe self-medicating.
Yeah.
That kind of extreme consumption, it could affect how someone perceives things, how they record information maybe, if he even wrote the notes.
Exactly. So his health, the alleged drug, runs.
Yep.
It's a complex picture of his final days.
Oh.
But then came the discovery, June 30th, 1999. Let's turn to that discovery. June 30th, 1999, Ricky's body is found, tragically, between a cornfield and a road, St. Charles County, Missouri, an area known infamously as a criminal dumping ground. He was 41, and here's something strange, he hadn't even been reported missing yet.
Which raises a big question right there. Why wasn't he reported missing? And the location. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? A known dumping ground. That immediately suggests foul play. A deliberate attempt to hide the crime.
The timeline is critical here. He was definitely alive just 5 days earlier, had a hospital checkup. An employee at a gas station he often went to claimed they saw him the day his body was found. But his body was found over 20 miles from his home. And remember, he didn't drive, didn't own a car, and no public transport went out there.
That's a major contradiction.
Yeah.
How does someone travel 20 miles with no car, no bus road? It strongly implies he was taken there by someone else. And the condition of the body, that just adds another layer. Medical examiners thought he'd only been dead about 3 days. But the body was badly decomposed. The weather hadn't been unusually warm, so that rate of decomposition, very strange. It made authorities suspect quite strongly that he was killed somewhere else and just dumped there.
Right. Dumped to obscure the real crime scene. So after the autopsy, toxicology exams, the medical examiner classified the death as undetermined. But the police, given everything, they considered it a homicide. And it remains unsolved today.
And that undetermined ruling is key.
Yeah.
The ME couldn't pinpoint the exact medical cause of death, but the police, looking at all the circumstances, the dumping, the travel, the body's condition, they had enough to say, this looks like murder. It's a homicide investigation. A cold one, but still active.
Okay, but what really takes this from tragic homicide to this enduring mystery are the notes found in his pockets. Yet for 12 years after his death, nothing. Not a word publicly about these notes. It wasn't until 2011 the FBI posts a notice online asking for public help to crack the code. His own family, they knew nothing about them. Astonishing, really.
That delay, it's very unusual. Investigators believe the notes were written maybe within 3 days of his death, potentially crucial evidence. So why the silence for over a decade? It makes you wonder what's in those notes, or what they thought was in them, and why hold them back so long?
His family insisted they never knew him to write in code, said he could barely write at all, described his writing as just chicken scratch scribble. Yet the notes themselves, Don Olson, head of the FBI's cryptanalysis unit at the time, called them obviously a complete jumble of characters, but also not random.
Right. Olson stressed how important they could be. Breaking the code might show where Ricky was before he died, could lead to solving the homicide. He said, and this is significant, it doesn't happen often that we have an unsolved cipher of this length and significance. He pointed out patterns, lots of E's, maybe spacers, other things suggesting it could be solved. The problem, he said, was just not knowing why it wasn't solvable yet. Even the FBI couldn't crack it.
And most cipher experts agree. Despite Ricky apparently being illiterate, the code is not random, it's very sophisticated. Olson himself believed Ricky wrote them, suggested he was much more savvy than many people believed.
Yeah, right.
And this is a huge gap. No existing samples of Ricky's handwriting, none. So we can't compare. We can't confirm he actually wrote them.
That lack of a handwriting sample is a major hurdle. It leaves the authorship question wide open. Did he write it? Did someone else?
Okay, let's assume for a minute Ricky did write them. What could they possibly mean? There are theories, of course. Could it be just his own shorthand, something only he understood?
That's definitely a possibility, especially with that recurring pattern. NCBE. Those 4 letters popping up again and again. Given his potential drug involvement, maybe it's some kind of uneducated drug dealer shorthand, as some suggest, like who he sells to, how much, maybe how he knows them, or doesn't know them. People have guessed NCBE could mean things like no cash being exchanged or no callback. Maybe the E is just a filler. It fits his lifestyle, but maybe not the sophisticated label the experts gave it.
Okay, another idea. A medical diary. Suggesting it tracks prescription drugs, dates, times, what he was taking, when, why. Some interpretations even suggest things like manic episodes, bipolar, chronic depression back in '74.
Well, we know he had unusual behavior, told tall tales. But there's no actual evidence he was diagnosed bipolar. No proof he had prescriptions for the meds mentioned in those theories. However, being involved in drug dealing, getting meds illegally wouldn't have been hard for himself or to sell. It raises interesting questions, doesn't it? About his personal struggles, his illicit life, maybe self-medicating. It adds a layer of complexity to him.
Then there's a much darker theory. The killer wrote them as a red herring to deliberately mislead the police. Maybe the code isn't solvable at all, just designed to waste time, draw attention away from real clues.
If it was a red herring, it was incredibly elaborate, sophisticated, like the FBI said. But it fits the scenario, doesn't it? A calculated killer, especially if he was killed elsewhere and dumped. Misdirection. A psychological game.
Oh, what if Ricky was just the messenger? A courier carrying notes for, well, shady people, and got killed for what he knew or what was in the message. I mean, he was involved in drugs, did jail time, body found in a known criminal dumping ground. It fits.
It absolutely fits that pattern. A pawn in a dangerous game. Makes you wonder what message could be worth killing over.
And the police did classify it as homicide. The circumstances screamed danger. There was a suspect, Gregory Lamar Cox, high-level drug dealer in Ricky's area. Cox was already a suspect in other homicides. And get this, a confidential informant told police Cox killed another black man, worked at a gas station, body also dumped. Chillingly similar.
That parallel is very disturbing. It connects Ricky's world, the drugs, the location, directly to a known violent figure. It paints this picture of him being really entangled in dangerous circles, where violence was common.
And remember, his girlfriend and aunt said he seemed frightened after returning from that Florida trip. Did he know something was coming? Did he really have a premonition about ending up in a dumping ground?
That fear, noticed by family, it suggests he knew he was in danger. Was it the drugs from Florida? A deal gone bad? Or something tied to those notes? We just don't know.
So where does that leave us? The FBI has these notes for 12 years. Can't crack them. They release them publicly. Still nothing solid. It makes you lean towards the idea that maybe it is just unique shorthand from someone semi-literate, dyslexic. Maybe if it was a standard code, it would have been solved by now.
It's definitely up there. One of the top uncracked codes, like Zodiac. The truth about Ricky McCormick's death, the meaning of those notes, it's still out there, elusive. Was it the key to his murder? Or just a shopping list, maybe? Something mundane we're overthinking because of the circumstances. That ambiguity. That's maybe the most unsettling part.
Yeah. The notes just sit there, silent. A testament to a violent end, a possible final message locked away. What if you, listening right now, could be the one to see something everyone else missed? This case, it really leaves you thinking. Thank you for joining us on this chilling deep dive into the unknown. If you found this unsettling exploration compelling, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We need your support to keep bringing you more chilling true stories and unsolved mysteries. We'll be back soon with another case to unravel. Thanks for listening.